Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So guys, here we are again. It's almost Mother's Day, so we're talking about single moms and just horrible moms in general, okay? And guys, we all know that the court system is biased against men, okay? Guys, your paternity court, family court, right? A divorce court. If you are a man and you're in court, you are screwed. Hey guys, I actually do a live called Courtroom Madness every week on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So guys, make sure to tune into that. And guys, here we have some cases of mothers that have lost custody of their kids. Look at that. So guys, once again, we're gonna go to the dumpster fire known as TikTok. But before we do, like, subscribe, and drop a comment because it really helps keep this channel going. Check out my second channel linked in the description, guys, and check out the playlist at the end. And guys, you got to be a real piece of trash of a mom to lose custody of your kids. You guys, there's people that can't even fathom the idea that women can even be bad mothers, right? Even the mention of saying, yeah, maybe she wasn't a good mom.
How dare you?
You know what I'm saying? So guys, let's just get into this.
So I get this question literally all the time. I have two kids. One of them is 9 years old. The other one is 4 years old. In November of 2019, my 4-year-old's father and I went to court. And
Two kids, what? Two different dudes.
Trial. We just came up with an agreement and we signed the agreement and the judge ordered it as a final judgment. Our agreement said that we would have joint custody and that
Now, guys, I'm going to stop it here, guys. Guys, we all know that women are always the victims or the heroes in their own story, right? We all know most of the time, 99% of the time, they're the volunteers.
Daughter would live with me and that my ex would see her. We would work it out on a week-by-week basis. At the time, we both worked for the same company, and I knew that his schedule was erratic and that he would go out of state for weeks at a time, and he was never around. He also didn't want to be around a newborn that was still nursing and who cried all the time and was a lot of work. He wanted nothing to do with her. So we agreed that she would live with me, primary residency, that he would see her when he felt like it, whenever I said it was okay, and that he would pay child support and half of her daycare. And that was in November of 2019. Then maybe a couple weeks after that, he started begging, telling me that he would do anything to have his family back, convinced me that I should give him another chance. We tried doing couples therapy. We spent the holidays together, and then COVID happened. And he basically gave me an ultimatum to be quarantined with him during the shutdown or that he was going to go back to his mom's. And
So she got knocked up by a dude who sounds like he didn't want to be a father in the first place and who lived with his mom. Sounds like a great candidate there, you knucklehead.
I agreed to allow him to stay with us during the shutdown.
Guys, her sound is messed up, not mine.
In my house from January until June of 2020. During that time, he was still paying me child support, but he kept trying to convince me to just get rid of the child support and was trying to get me to just, be back with him. And I kept telling him no, that I wanted to keep the child support on just in case if, things didn't work out, which with him being a narcissist,
there it is.
Strong feelings that it was not.
There it is, guys. There it is. Amateur psychologist over here. He's a narcissist, please.
Work out, which ended up being right. So anyways, long story short, then in 2021, he started his own business. He started making more money. He basically said to me, look, either you let me be back with you, you let me move in with you, I'll give you money every day, plus your child support. I'll give you anything you ever want in the world if you be with me. And if not, I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to take Angelina away. He says, I'm going to make sure that I get sole custody and that you have to pay me child support.
Now, guys, let's just pump the brakes right there. So many chicks say this. He's threatening to take my child away. Guys, she's just trying to get victimhood points here. She's trying to play the victim because, guys, we all know that that's so rare. A guy just can't come and take a woman's kids away. You know what I'm saying? That would be like you having money in a bank vault, and the guy goes, "I'm gonna go take your money out of the vault." It's not happening. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
And he says, your other option is be with me and take me off child support, and I will give you all the money in the world. I'll give you my whole paycheck. So, of course, after, this constant cycle of abuse.
Oh, please.
Since 2018, with the love bombing and then the degrading you and the discarding you and back and forth with this narcissistic psychological abuse that he's constantly...
Look at all these 304 buzzwords. Love bombing and psychological abuse. Clown world.
Put me through. I said no. I said, I want to co-parent. I want to make an agreement. I want to make a real schedule. And we signed an agreement without going to court in 2021 where it said...
And that's how you know she's full of shit, guys. If she really, really felt threatened and any of this was true, she would have taken him to court.
He would have her every weekend. He had her every single weekend, and he was supposed to give me the right of first refusal if he had to work or if he had something to do, which he would rarely do. And he started leaving her alone with his other sons, who at the time were like, the oldest was maybe 15 and the younger one was 8 or 9. Then at the end of 2021, when he basically realized that I wasn't going to be back with him and I wasn't going to sleep with him anymore, he just said to me, okay, well, I'm not going to pay child support. I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to get full custody.
That's not how
and
that
was
works.
My punishment. And so that's what he did.
Look at that, guys, right there. Guys, how likely is this story? She was doing nothing wrong. He was a narcissist and an abuser, and he just took her to court and used the court to take her kid away. Clown world. Guys, that never happens. So she's trying to tell us, guys, that this man who lived at his mom's house, was an abuser, just went to court that's biased against him, and somehow not only won, but got full custody. Come on, guys.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
He filed motions saying that I was allegedly not taking my daughter and stuff like that, when in reality, he would tell me that he's not going to give her to me, withhold her from me, not tell me his address.
As if she couldn't call the cops. She was
at his mom's house. I'd go there. The cops would come and say that no one's lived there in months and that they don't live there anymore. And then he wouldn't tell me the address. I'd have to find the address myself. Then I found out he was living in another city. And when we went back to court, he would lie under oath and the court would do absolutely nothing. Then basically, he is very well connected. A lot of his friends and family are lawyers, judges, correctional officers.
Oh, now it's a whole conspiracy against her. Okay. All right. Her friggin' knuckleheaded baby daddy, friggin' nug. He's got the judge in his pocket. He's got the sheriff in his pocket. He's got the corrections officers, and everyone's against her. Please.
There's state marshals, judicial marshals, nurses, people who work for DCF.
Even the nurses are against her.
Police commissioners. These are all of his family and friends.
Police
and so
commissioners.
he basically, all he does is bribe people. And
I thought you said he didn't have any money and he can bribe people?
He was able to basically make a guarantee that he was going to get custody.
That's BS.
So in October of 2022, I started to see that my daughter was basically doing sexual things on her stuffed animals. And she said that it was what her brother does to her. And so I was advised by my therapist, who I spoke to about this, to call DCF, and I did. And DCF did what they call a forensic interview. They asked my daughter do you have anywhere on your body no one's allowed to touch? She said no, and they ended the interview right then and there. The police never questioned her. DCF never questioned her. No one ever asked her if she was touched. Nobody ever asked her. They said they're not allowed to ask leading questions. They can't ask a leading question like, did anyone ever touch you?
This woman's so full of it. Guys, let's just go back in time, because here's what I think happened. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible mom that's probably been trying to alienate my daughter from her dad, and her dad's actually pushing back, and maybe it's coming out how much of a piece of trash mom I am. I might lose this because I'm in that super horrible group of women that actually lose custody. So I'm gonna do some false SA charges. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So then she took her daughter to this therapist, and the therapist's like, "What are you talking about? That's cap." And now she's here crying.
In your private, but they can say non-leading questions like, do you know why you're here? And so they also tell you, oh, you can't tell them why they're coming, and you can't bring props, and all of these ridiculous rules. They forced me to continue letting her go to the dads, and during the time when they did this investigation, my attorney said to me, don't send her to dads until the investigation is over. So I listened to my lawyer, I listened to my therapist, I did not take her to the dads, and then he filed a motion for contempt saying that I was withholding her.
So her withholding the daughter is not her fault either. Have you guys in this whole time heard her say that she did anything wrong?
Meanwhile, he was not following any of the court orders. We had multiple pending motions. This attorney who I hired said to me that he was going to guarantee that I could never lose custody. Meanwhile, my ex owes me $15,000 in back child support. And so it just kept getting dragged on. We went in front of this corrupt judge in New Haven, Jane Cupson Grossman.
Now there's a corrupt judge. Please.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
You look her up, you'll see there's multiple lawsuits about her. Many people. She is famous for taking kids away from their parents. If you say that you're being abused, she will automatically give custody to the abuser.
Please.
So on May 25th, 2023, with no notice, I was not allowed to show evidence, anything. During this rushed hearing, the judge says, where's your daughter? I said, she's at school. She says to my ex, okay, you're going to go get the baby. You have temporary sole custody now. And she put me on supervised visits because she said I lied about the sexual abuse.
Because you did, you moron. Guys, think about this. She's trying to spin this like she's the victim. But guys, there's no way that in this court system we have now that they would do all this for no reason. And this chick is such a knucklehead that she's trying to act like the whole system, everyone from the president to the UN prime minister, were all against her. The UN secretary general and the head of the CIA, they're all after me. Please.
She said, without seeing any of the evidence or anything like that, accused me of lying. And if you see some of my other videos, you could see that my daughter was clearly saying that as she's doing these activities on her toys, that she's doing what her brother does to her. And the police, DCF, and the...
Now, guys, I'm not going to go through and look at any of her other videos, but if she is recording her daughter saying that type of stuff and putting that on TikTok, this is an evil, poor excuse for a human being. The fact that she would do that is terrible.
The courts did not do anything about it. They did not investigate. They said that they will not do anything, and then they took my daughter away and gave her to the father where she said she was being abused. I never abused my daughter. I never neglected my daughter. I never did anything to hurt my child. I've done everything for both of my children. I've sacrificed everything for my kids, and I have sole custody of my 9-year-old. I've had sole custody for almost a decade and doing just fine with that. And DCF has never said I've done anything wrong to hurt either of my children. And the only reason that this judge took my kid away without a trial, without letting me testify, without letting me have an attorney, without letting me show evidence, nothing. She took my kid away because she said I lied about the sexual abuse to alienate her from the father. And people need to understand that this is happening every day all across the country. If you think it won't happen to you, think again.
So yeah, guys, She's saying that a court that's biased against men is just letting men win all the time. Please. It's absolute clown world, dude. Absolutely insane. And guys, you ready for this? Her hashtags. Hashtag moms of TikTok. Hashtag divorce. Hashtag New York. Hashtag Florida. Hashtag Connecticut. Hashtag New Hampshire. Hashtag pro legal solutions. Hashtag legal. Hashtag legally blonde. Hashtag USA. Hashtag Christmas. Hashtag elf on a shelf. What? Hashtag elf on a shelf ideas. Hashtag parent. Hashtag parents of TikTok. Hashtag narcissist. Hashtag narcissist survivor. Hashtag domestic abuse awareness. Hashtag kids of TikTok. Hashtag mom and daughter. Hashtag mommy issues. Hashtag family. Look at that, guys. Clown world. This woman's so full of it, guys. She's full of it. And she still can't take accountability. Clown world.
I lost custody of my children 18 months ago. And
Clown world.
I worry every day. I worry, do my children feel loved? I worry, do my children have a mother figure in their lives who can look at them and know when something's wrong and know what's wrong, and who can instinctively know what to do to fix it? I worry if they're safe. I worry if they're happy. I worry if they're comfortable. I worry if they like their clothes. I worry if their shoes fit right. I worry if they have friends. I worry if they're able to play outside and speak up and do things they enjoy. I worry if they get to eat their favorite foods and have their favorite snacks. I worry if they get to see their other siblings. I worry if they're worrying about me. I worry if they know how loved they are and how unique they are and how special they are. And I worry if they wonder or if they know how glad I am that they're here on this earth and that they're my child and a part of my family. I worry about countless things pertaining to each child every day. I'm a mom, and I don't get updates. I haven't seen my kids or heard anything about them or got to talk to them and communicate with them in 18 months. And so I'm a mom, and I worry.
You guys might be asking, how did she lose custody? And guys, first of all, look at the eyelashes on this knucklehead. This chick's like a 50-something-year-old white chick. She's got these caterpillars on her eyes. And guys, she lost custody of her kids because she's a goddamn junkie. She said, I love my kids. Apparently not more than heroin, right? Because her whole page is about being in rehab. She went to jail and then to rehab and back to jail. That's how you lost custody. So apparently your kids aren't as important to you as you say you are. Right? And of course, when they hit rock bottom and they've lost their kids, guys, what are they all about? Jesus, right? Guys are hashtag mothers grieve, hashtag sharing is healing, hashtag moms of TikTok, hashtag trauma, hashtag grief, hashtag come together, hashtag love wins, hashtag battling addiction. Look at that, guys. Guys, I'm gonna make a whole series of this, even past Mother's Day a week, because these 304s are losing kids, man. It's rare, but it happens. So, all right, you guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one.